Hello everybody, and welcome back to 5 Minute Crypto, the channel where we cover the most important crypto news in just 5 minutes, back again with another crypto update. Today, we have an update on Ethereum, and it is really interesting, as analysts have now grown concerned as $2 billion in Ethereum has flooded the exchanges. Alright, Ethereum gas fees surging. It is getting expensive as I don't want to say that to transact on the Ethereum blockchain. Lower value NFTs might be hit hard with the rising Ethereum gas fees that could eliminate the bottom of the NFT market. $2 billion has then been deposited on exchanges worth of Ethereum, and the exchange wallets now, well, they might belong to a couple of whales who are looking to take some profit, or not at all. It is really almost impossible to tell, but all right. So, Ethereum has climbed up to a high in May, $4,400, and has now, however, been interrupted by some ongoing consolidation. Nearly, however, 600,000 Ethereum was deposited to Binance, triggering concerns of a sell-off. Now, here is a little bit of a story about how Ethereum on-chain activity is now declining in response to the rise in gas fees, but the problem with this is that we are talking about the lower end of the spectrum. These huge sales of multi-million-dollar CryptoPunks or NFTs in general, nothing's gonna happen to those. It is only about the lower end of things that are gonna be annoyed by all of that, because if you're buying a piece of content for $100,000 and you care about your $30 fee, I'm gonna say there's a little bit of a problem right there, because what type of profit are you thinking of making, right? If you're already buying a digital art piece for such a couple of bucks. My own personal idea though. And this whole NFT section, I think you can personally, once more, kind of skip. It is mostly about the observation that there's been a huge inflow to exchanges worth nearly $2 billion. And on a close examination, the on-chain data revealed that wallet addresses depositing the Ether to exchanges like Binance might belong to whales looking to book profits. An increase in inflow implies an increase in Ethereum available for sale in wallets of the exchange, and this drives the selling pressure on the altcoin higher. A spike in exchange inflow on exchanges is historically associated with a drop in the asset's price, as right here we can in green see the price of Ethereum, and in purple the exchange inflow. And guys, an exchange inflow is only as important as the outflow can suggest. What I mean with that is that the inflow works like this. If I were to, hypothetically speaking, all right, have $1 billion in my Ledger Nano S, and I deposit on an exchange, it'd be a $1 billion inflow to crypto exchanges. Now, the problem lies in the fact that if I take that $1 billion out of the exchange now, that's considered a $1 billion outflow. If I put it back in, it's another $1 billion inflow. The problem being, it's net, for example, $1 billion, but it looks different because it's going to depend on what happened to the money prior. If it came from a hardware wallet, it really gets added to exchanges now for the first time. If it came from exchange, got taken out, but then got put back in, its net is zero because the guy just took it out and put it back in. Nothing really happened. And that's the kind of skewedness of this metric. If they're showing you the exchange inflow or only the outflow, you can't do anything with that. The only statistic which you can trust is the net flow, as here the price really dipped almost instantly after it happened. Could be a coincidence though, right? It literally could be. You don't know for certain. But for example, right here, you can see the price, I guess, was actually rising while a huge inflow happened. And it's been on multiple instances just like that. Once more, not always, but I think this metric here is lying to us a little bit. Same thing right here around this area in the start of July of 2020. I guess the 10th of July exactly. Yeah, the 10th of July. That area, you can see it's pretty bullish, but ultimately, it's something which you might use to indicate something. It doesn't have to. Then the Ethereum supply shock. Exchange Ethereum reserves continue to fall after a 26% drop in 2021. Ultimately, the reserves have actually gone down. So this is another metric which I like to use. It actually takes those net flows and adds them to the entire counter of Ethereum that is on exchanges. And ultimately, that number is just dwindling down lower. So I wouldn't be too worried about all of this. I would say that the whales are not really taking too much of a profit. They're basically still keeping and buying more Ethereum because, well, they do not want to sell it. And also, more and more gets locked up in the Ethereum 2.0 contract, which you also shouldn't forget. Here it's said that traders should beware because Ethereum is very likely to drop all the way down to, and just guys, once more, there are always people who are going to benefit from the price moving in a certain direction, up or down. So if you are seeing an article which expects the Ethereum price to go down or up, know that this person most likely wants you to think and act in this way. Not always, but very often they do. Big institutions, they always have a plan, and you are not sure if they want the price to go up or down because people can make money either way it goes. So whenever you see an article like this, know that this guy most likely had a strategy for putting it up there because ultimately, I don't think Ethereum is going to go down that far lower. Then again, his supply zone here of Ethereum is quite apparent, and so a kind of little fall down a couple of $100 or so would not be too crazy. But that's also not something I'm really concerned of. It is when people start to talk about the previous support or resistances, like for example, at about $2,600, or maybe this one right here at about $2,400, that I'm getting a little bit more skeptical because that's, pretty down low. But guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And generally speaking, I am pretty bullish on Ethereum, so it's not really that big a deal to me.